This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I needed for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
That commercial gets me every time. As we get to the school year starting for some of you, some of us, our children have already started back to school. As the summer winds down, we just take a look at some controversy that's been going on with a lot of schools now implementing the whole no phone policy. They don't want the phones in school. Some of them are okay with the phones being in school as long as it's not on your person, not on the student. It's either in their pocket or it's in their book bags during the school year. But we're going to dive into that again. The commercial that I just played, some of you may have seen it, but every time that I do see it, it's definitely touching. It's definitely eye-opening. This is not to create any fear, but to make awareness, to spread awareness out there so that we can look at both sides. But before we begin, before we dive into this, I just want to say welcome to LUKE-N-SHAE'S place.
Awesome!
So glad that you guys could stop by. Wearing your smile. Hope that you're starting off your day the right way. And I just want to say, if you haven't already and you like the content that we're sharing, go ahead and click that like button. Put me in an algorithm so that other viewers can find this platform. And don't forget to subscribe. If you do like the content that we're sharing, why not subscribe? Subscribe, it's 100% free. And, share it. That's another way to get my podcast out there so that other viewers can find it. But we're going to dive into this. School is starting for some of you. Some of you, it has already started. I know for my children, we're getting used to it. We're not used to going to school in August, but definitely started school already. So just wanted to have this topic because this has been controversy going on the internet. If some of you might have stumbled across some podcast or some discussions about it, or you might even gotten an email from your school saying, hey, we are starting a new policy where we do not want phones. So the topic we have is the no phone zone. Schools are definitely cracking down. So let's look at this. Let's talk about it. Let's react to it. And I would love to see and hear what your comments are. Let me know. Get back to me in the comment section. And also the videos that I'm going to be reacting to, you guys can look right in the description section. You'll have that information there for you. So let's dive into this.
This upcoming school year, most Texas students won't be allowed to use their cell phones during the school day.
It's part of a new state law, and now school districts across the state have to figure out ways to roll out their new policies. Our Nabil Ramadna shows us what some local districts will be doing.
Surrounded by teachers, students, and lawmakers, Governor Greg Abbott signed House Bill 1481 during a ceremonial signing, the law making classrooms a phone-free zone.
If we're going to be number one, it's going to require the
Local districts will now have to come up with a plan on how to enforce the new rules.
The law is the law. We have to obey the law, and the law pretty much said that students cannot have their cell phones or use their phones during the instructional day.
In Round Rock ISD, students can bring their phones to school.
However, during the school day, we are asking our students really to keep their phones either in their pockets or out of sight. So if they have backpacks, put in their backpacks, and not to use it during the school day.
Over in Pflugerville ISD, a similar approach.
We're going to take a little bit more relaxed approach, and we're going to say, we don't want to see it, but you can keep it on your person. You can put it in your pocket if you want to. We just don't want to see it.
Abbott says each school...
How do you guys feel about that? So some schools are saying, look, we don't even want them here. We don't want anything to do with them in the classroom. Let's face it, we know. Some of us have kids, we have nieces and nephews. We see kids even out and about, playing outside, cell phones in the hand, riding the bike. It's a distraction. Yes, it definitely is. And I could see where a lot of teachers are saying, kids are going on social media and, we see videos from school. That's how we get our videos that we're able to see in the schools, because soon as something happens, a fight breaks out, guess what? It's going on the internet. A lot of the kids are reporting it. So yeah, in the classroom, I can see it being a distraction. And for any parents who ever, if you guys ever had to take your children's devices, I know I've had to, because I do not play that when it comes to education, doing your homework, being respectful. If I've had to take electronics, I've noticed there has been a difference. The kids are more engaged. They're coming out of their rooms more. They're doing more activities outside, playing, different things like that, interacting with family members. Like, wow. It's a difference when the phones are put away. But there's another side to that as well. What does that mean if you cannot bring your phones to school? Like, if you do not have your phone, your device. Some kids are walkers. Sometimes the children don't get picked up. Their buses aren't picking them up right in front of their house. So they might have a walk to their bus stop. And, for safety purposes, I can see where there's concern as a mother. Yes, I've had to communicate with my child via text in school. I've had text messages where my children were uneasy, like, Mom, we're doing, they're locking the doors, we're doing some kind of drill, So, yes, that shelter in place. So kids get uneasy with that because, look, I don't know if it's real, if there's something really happening, or where I live now and there's storms. So sometimes the alarms will go off if there's a major storm happening and the kids have to shelter in place. So it can be something where I can understand where the child wants to reach out to the parent wants to make sure the child's okay. But in class, yes, I don't agree with the phones being out. I don't agree with that. That opens doors for, yes, going on social media, not focusing, not learning. But let's listen to more.
School district will have the chance to decide their approach.
It gives, however, school districts flexibility to establish policies that meet the unique needs of their particular district.
In Liberty Hill ISD, they sent out notifications to parents to inform them about the changes. While some parents are on board with the move, there are some that have concerns.
Yeah, I would say the more concern has been like, I'm used to contacting my child during the day about maybe practice or something has changed, or the other part of about safety. If something were to happen, how do I get a hold of my child, or how do I know that my kid's safe?
Manor ISD says there will be a learning curve, but education
So yeah, I can understand that. That's good that some schools are just like, look, we're gonna put them away. Let's just put them away in class. There, that should have been a rule anyway. First of all, that should have been a rule. But again, we've seen different videos. Come on, let's face it. We've seen videos that are put out there where teachers, educators they're out here trying to educate our children, and they get rebuttals when they're telling the children to put the phones away. And that starts at home. Parents, what are we doing? Are we making sure that when we send our child off, look, this is the rules, put your phones away? It's going to be taken. There's going to be consequences when it comes to that, because you have to respect your teachers. When they say that there's rules in the classroom, and if the school is saying that there's rules, the phones have to be put away, because now we've come to this. We've come to where teachers are saying, yes, there's slacking in the classroom when it comes to the children actually applying themselves with their classwork. So that's not good. So, and look, I come from a time where I didn't have a cell phone. They weren't even invented yet. Your parents were cool if they had a phone. We waited until we got home. We used the house phone to call our friends. And if I was in school and I had an issue where I needed to reach out to my parents because of, okay, I forgot to tell them that I had choir practice, track practice, or whatever I had after school, I would go to the office. I would ask my teacher, hey, can I go to the office and make a phone call? The office was more than, they welcomed my phone call. So there's other ways to reach out to the parents. And parents, there's ways that you can reach out to your child via the school. I mean, if you call the school, there's been times where messages have been relayed to me by my teacher. I mean, it sucks because, yeah, this day and age, you do have different drills. When I was coming up, didn't have the shelter in place drills. I didn't experience that. We had fire drills where we got in line real quick and we went outside. And every classroom had a destination that they were at until we had the all clear to come back into school. So it's a different, yes, we're seeing different drills than I seen growing up. But when it comes to safety, that's a concern where I can understand where parents have and students have. How are you going to reach out to your child, or how can they reach out to you if there is something tragic happening in the school? So if you have ideas, that's something. They have parent teachers conferences. They have back to school nights when we're now starting back to school. Go to the back to school night, share your ideas, go to town meetings. There's different ways that you get your ideas out there. Your idea might be something that the school can implement. If it's something that's beneficial to where everything is in order, the child's phone's away. Hey, at maybe lunchtime, maybe that's a good time to pull them out. That'll be something to look forward to. You get through your first couple periods of the day, lunchtime, hey, you get to have your phone time. Whatever, but let's dive into some more, react to some more, and have this discussion. All right, let's go. Now we are going to look at some text messages from a mother. This is real. This was a real text message exchange going on between a mother and her two daughters who were at school during a tragic situation. I believe it was a school in Georgia. So we're going to look at this because this was something that, yes, during a time of confusion and something tragic going on in school, we're going to look at it on this side as well. Why some people feel like children should have easy access to their phone. But here we go. gonna let it go into those who didn't see it because I know it's going fast. But play it again. Wow, that's definitely touching as well. Just seeing that and looking at the mother's response, it just reminds me of myself being a mother. I know she texts the Lord's Prayer in there, and that's something that I have done with my children since they were younger. I start off their day depending on my schedule. If I'm home before they go to school, depending on my work schedule, what I would do is yes, pray the Lord's Prayer and go into a prayer, just covering them before they go to school because, a lot of times, sometimes people, and I know just in and out of our country, we wait till tragedy strikes or we wait till the unknown happens before we want to start praying. No, I try to send them off. I pray over them before they leave for school. And even as my adult children, when they're taking a far flight somewhere, sometimes I'll text them the Lord's Prayer and I'll text it to them because I've had times where I know when my oldest daughter went to Italy, she said, "Mom, when you text me the Lord's Prayer," she said, "I was actually when she was on the plane. She couldn't talk, or you're in airplane mode and everything. So what she did, she just opened her phone and she was reading it over and over, and that just helped her in that during that flight. So my suggestion is for those who would have text that to their child for comfort during that time. Why not maybe have a picture of the family, you guys together, where they could put that in their book bag and maybe have the Lord's Prayer under there. Type it out, put it under there. That's a suggestion for comfort because for the schools who are not allowing the phones at all, just maybe having the family's picture in the book bag. You just never know. Not, like I said, not to create fear, not for the child to be like, oh my goodness, I hope I never have to be. I pray nobody ever has to use that. Nobody has to, as we go into the school year. But it doesn't hurt to be ready, right? To be prepared for if something was like this, something like this was to happen, at least your child can go open up that notebook or open up their book bag flap and see, okay, there's my family with me and there's the Lord's Prayer you're having, and just have them say it over and over again, to themselves, they can, or to their classmates, if that's going to help someone as well. So again, just a suggestion, something I've done, but I'm going to let's look at more that definitely was touching. And that is something as far as controversy where parents are saying, look, if there's something happening, because let's face it, this stuff has been happening more and more. If something's happening, I want a way to be able to communicate with my child. I want to be able to have my child talk to me. And like I said, even with the children that walk to school, even with the children who get dropped off down the street from their house and they have a walk, just we have to be safe out here. They should have their phone, I believe. I do believe that the phone should not be taken fully away from the children. I believe that it should, at least have their access to their phone to where if something were to happen, emergency situation, or even walking home, they can call somebody for help if they're anything. But also, we have to make sure, parents, we're telling our children, when you're walking home, walk home, keep your head on a swivel, because I've been seeing a lot of different videos and people sharing, Uber drivers who have been sharing stories of teenagers who have shared with them, like, wow, someone was chasing me. They were just looking in their phone, not paying attention, and then cars are pulling up. You have to make sure that they're keeping their head on a swivel. But let's dive into another video. Let's look at an alternatives. Okay, so for the schools who are saying, look, you can have your phone, let's see what other schools are doing. Some schools have implemented different things, and it might help with your school district. So if it meets your school's budget, here's an option. So we're going to look at this other video. Let's go.
Is now a morning rush to scroll.
Power your phone. Oh!
New this year, middle and high school students now forced to lock away their phones before the bell rings.
When do they get it back?
2:45.
2:45.
Right.
Principal Gary Hall pushed for the policy and the pouch to enforce it.
They were texting, tweeting, you name it, while classes were going on.
Put it in. Put it in the pouch then.
Here's how it works. At the beginning of the day, students put their cell phones in these pouches.
Once it's locked, it is really hard to get back open.
They can keep it with them, they just can't open them. They're sealed.
There you go. Have a good day.
This unlocking magnet, the only thing designed to free them. It's not completely foolproof.
We found a lot of cell phone cases with no cell phone.
For students,
Show of hands, who doesn't like the pouch?
it's a painful adjustment.
I just love watching TikTok, so I gotta have my phone.
Why don't you like the pouch?
I don't like the pouch because, like, when I'm in math, I like to take pictures of the notes and stuff.
What's your favorite part?
We communicate more with each other now that our phones locked up.
It made me pay attention. I don't got my phone.
Who would be using their cell phone if it weren't for the pouch? That's a lot of hands. What would you be doing?
Cheating.
Montgomery Public Schools isn't alone. The maker of the pouch, Yonder, says they're seeing an estimated 150% increase in schools using them in 2023. Now working with over 2,000 schools across the country. While most parents are for the pouch, others fear their children will not have their phone when they need it most.
If there's an emergency, how can I contact my child?
I mean, I'm in panic waiting until someone from the school calls and say, well, hey, there's a shooting.
It's been 1 week. Has it gone the way you thought it would?
So how do you guys feel about that? The pouches, that's an option to put them away for the whole school day. Is that something that you guys think would be good in your school district? Would you be okay with that? Because then you still have people that say, hey, you know what? Those phones are being locked up. Am I still going to have an option to talk to my child? How do you guys feel about that one?
It's going really well.
District Superintendent Dr. Melvin Brown tells us the benefits are worth the risk.
We have to find a happy medium, while at the same time, our ultimate goal is to make sure everybody's 100% as safe as possible.
All right, so moving on.
Just 1 week in, this school is already seeing a difference.
I just see engagement, honestly. I see talking. They're using their words.
It's revolutionized teaching for me this year. Work gets done faster. We move along faster.
A new routine. Educators hope will unlock their full potential. Marissa Parra, NBC News, Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, so we looked at it from different angles here. What is important at the end of the day? What's important is that our children are focusing in class. So I have to agree with that 100%. As a parent, I do know how it is when the kids are in the electronics and I'm talking to my kids and they're like, what did I just say? Oh, mom, no, put the phone down, get off the game, let's talk, and let's engage, and that's exactly what needs to happen in class. So I'm all for it. I'm sure it makes the educator's jobs harder when you have to keep stopping because someone's on their devices. But in the same breath, we also have to know that we live in times of craziness and, not to create fear because that fear does not come from God. But we have to be prepared in situations. So with different things going on. So yes, by all means, I do believe that we should have a way to reach out to our children in emergencies. If there's an emergency and your child wants to text you and that gives them comfort, I do believe that that's something that's also a must. So if we can come to a place where that can be allowed, but also not having the devices in class to where the kids are going to respect that somehow. The pouches seem like such a good idea, but again, parents are asking, well, what about if something happens? They're not going to go in the hallway and then unlock their phone on that round metal device that they have, So it's like, okay, let's come up with something that makes sense. But just wanted to look at different angles, guys. I would love to get your feedback. If you haven't already, click that like button. And also subscribe. If you like the content that you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. I hope this video added value. Definitely wasn't supposed to add fear. And as you get ready and your children get ready to go back to school, have a safe year. And for those who have already started school, have a safe year. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay focused. At LUKE-N-SHAE'S place, we always want you to know that your mental health is important. A positive mentality is a destined reality. Again, stay focused, stay blessed. Until next time, children, stay off the phones in school and do your best behind that desk. Have a great year. And until next time, wear a smile. Take care.